nililigaw at pinapagulo ang narrative sa kung ano ba talaga ang nangyari sa OVP at DepEd confidential funds. Sabi po ni SDO Edward Farda, pinaingkas po niya ang bawat isa nung tatlong 37.5 million checks sa Land Bank DEX branch. Nilalagay sa 2 duffel bags at isang backpack ang cash.
Nalala po natin lahat ang kakaibang pangalan na si Mary Grace Piatos. The person that obviously does not exist. Walang record ang PSA sa kanya, yet her name appears in the acknowledgement receipts submitted po to liquidate the confidential funds.
Hello mga Kapinas TV. Sa konklusyon ng pagdinig sa anomalya sa paggamit ni VP Sara sa confidential funds, ay inilatag ng mga mambabatas ang mga paglabag ng OVP at Department of Education sa pamumuno ni Sara Duterte. Isa na diyan ay ang mga pekeng pangalan tulad ni Mary Grace Piatos at Kokoy Villamin na di umano'y tumanggap ng confidential funds.
May kasama raw siya noong 3 beses na yon, nakilala niya lamang bilang Alan. Matapos maging cash, dinala niya ang cash sa kanyang opisina sa DepEd. Sabi naman ni SDO Gina Acosta, para sa OVP confidential funds worth 125 million per quarter, pinapaingkas niya ang bawat cheque sa Land Bank Shaw Boulevard branch. Kasama niya si Assistant Chief of Staff Lemuel Ortonio at 2 di mapangalanan driver sa pagpapaingkas ng bawat cheque. 4 na beses, inilalagay raw nila ang 125 million cash sa 4 na duffel bags. Pareho sinabi ni Acosta at Ortonio na mula sa Land Bank ay pumunta na sila sa opisina ni Madam Gina Acosta sa Office of the Vice President. As if it was all planned and orchestrated or part of a common design, both SDO Acosta and Farda said that the Vice President directly instructed them to hand over the cash representing the confidential funds to certain security officers. For DepEd, may itinalaga raw si Colonel Raymond Lachica, ang head ng Vice Presidential Security and Protection Group ng isang security officer na nangangalang Colonel Dennis Nolasco, kung saan weekly nagbibigay ng pondo si SDO Farda amounting to 4 to 6 million per week. For the Office of the Vice President, si Colonel Lachica raw mismo ang security officer na buong pinag-aabutan ni SDO Acosta ng 125 million every quarter. Matapos di umano ibigay ng mga SDOs ang pera sa mga security officers na sina Colonel Nolasco at Colonel Lachica, wala na raw silang partisipasyon sa actual disbursement ng confidential funds. Wala silang ibang basehan sa kung anong nangyari sa pondo, kundi sa pamamagitan ng mga accomplishment reports na kailangang ihanda at isumite para sa liquidation ng confidential funds. Malinaw po sa kwento ng mga SDOs na hindi sila ang nag-disburse o nagbayad ng payments to the informants and other supposed payees ng confidential funds. Naturalmente, hindi rin sila ang gumagawa ng accomplishment reports kasi wala silang kaalaman kung papaano nagasta ang pera ng bayan. Ito po ang parehong sinabi sa hearing ni na SDO Acosta at SDO Farda. Sabi, wala po akong alam sa pag-implement po ng confidential activities dahil po hindi ko po iyan in line sa aking pinag-aralan. Your Honor, hindi po kasi ako ang expert diyan. Si Colonel Nolasco po, siya po kasi ang gumawa niyan. Ito po yung mga sagot ng ating mga resource persons noong mga hearing. It is also being made to appear that the acknowledgement receipts or the documentary evidence of payments, o tawag natin ay DEPS, supposedly also came from these security officers. Hindi po malinaw para sa akin ang kwento nila kung kailan inaabot sa kanila ng security officers ang acknowledgement receipts. Pero ang malinaw po sa mga AOMs ng COA na hindi sinubmit ang mga acknowledgement receipts kasabay ng kanilang mga liquidation reports. Mukhang parati na lang afterthought ang pag-submit ng acknowledgement receipt sa COA. Ito ay sinubmit kasabay ng mga letter response na pirmado ni Attorney Poa para sa DepEd at para sa OVP ni na Attorney Lopez and Ginoong Ontorio. Sila nagsubmit ng acknowledgement receipts sa COA. Isa pong obserbasyon sa mga revelations na ito ng mga SDOs at mga ibang opisyal at dating opisyal ng DepEd at OVP. Tila ba sinasaya tayong nililito, nililigaw at pinapagulo ang narrative sa kung ano ba talaga ang nangyari sa OVP at DepEd confidential funds. Kung inyong matatandaan, nung una ay sinabi nilang tanging ang mga SDOs lamang ang may kaalaman sa disbursement ng confidential funds. Ngunit nang magpakita na ang mga SDOs sa committee hearings at tinanong sila, wala din daw silang alam sa mga detalye patungkol dito sa mga confidential funds. Lahat po sila ay nagtuturuan. Pero sino nga ba ang pumirma sa mga accomplishment report at certification? Ang mga SDOs at si Vice President Sara Duterte.
These are the elements of falsification. Number one, the offender is a public officer or employee or notary public. Number two, the offender takes advantage of his official position. And number three, he or she falsifies a document by committing any of the acts mentioned in Article 171 of the Revised Penal Code. Ito po ay when a public officer, tulad po ng ating mga resource persons na naimbita nung nakaraang mga hearings, take advantage of their official positions and falsify documents. Ang mga halaga dito ay mga falsities or mga di katotohanan or fabrication sa mga dokumento among others. At ito mismo ang violation o krimen na nangyari sa loob mismo ng ahensya na dinidinig po natin. Ngayon, ano po ba ang ibig sabihin ng falsified documents? Paano ba ito ginagawa? There are several means to falsify documents under the Revised Penal Code. But let us go to the relevant portions to us right now. This is committed by any public officer, employee, or notary who taking advantage of his official position, shall falsify a document by committing any of the following acts, causing it to appear that persons have participated in any act or proceeding when they did not in fact so participate. Falsification of documents is committed by making it appear that persons have participated in any act or proceeding when they did not in fact so participate. Ito po yung nakita natin ng mga obserbasyon sa mga hearing, sa mga fraudulent at bogus po ng mga acknowledgement receipts. Next slide, please. Obviously, it was made to appear that she participated in this acknowledgement, despite the fact that she does not exist. Clearly, Mr. Chair, this is falsification. Next slide, please. Pag-usapan po din natin si Kokoy Villamin, the person po na ating na-highlight from the previous hearings who got confidential funds. As pointed out by Congressman Adyong, magkaiba po ang signature and handwriting niya sa parehong AR. This cuts doubt on whether Kokoy Villamin, if he does exist, really was the one who signed both ARs or even any one of these ARs. Hindi ka paniwala na basta-bastang nagbago na lang ang pirma ng isang tao. Again, it was made to appear that a person, itong si Kokoy Villamin, participated in these supposed payments and acknowledgement receipts when the truth, he did not. Madami po tayong examples ng mga potential counts of falsification dito sa ating hearing. These are but just a few examples. Kaya naman ang mga acknowledgement receipts nito to make it appear na sila Mary Grace Piatos, Kokoy Villamin at iba pang nakapirma ay nakakuha ng bayad mula sa confidential funds. Ngunit it was later revealed na ang mga tao nito does not even exist. This is exactly what the law penalizes as falsification. Next slide, please. Now, isa po pong violation ay ang use of falsified documents. Iba po ito sa falsification. Ito po ay isang krimen or violation ng batas natin na depende sa circumstansya. Next slide, please. Ang liable po for this crime is if alam ng isang tao ng document ay falsified at ito ay ginamit pa rin niya. Ano ba ang mga elemento nito? Una, the offender knew that a document was falsified by another person. Pangalawa, the false document is embraced in Article 171 or in any of subdivisions numbers 1 and 2 of Article 172. Pangatlo, he used such document not in judicial proceedings. And pang-apat, the use of the false document caused damage to another or at least it was used with intent to cause such damage. Next slide, please. Ito po ang mga elemento of use of falsified documents. Ang importante dito is the use of the document. Clearly po, ginamit po yung affidavit or rather yung falsified acknowledgement receipts. They were used to justify the liquidation for hundreds of millions of confidential funds. Ito po yung mga sample na mga dokumento na pinakikita natin ngayon. Naalala po natin ang mga liquidation reports ng ARs na paulit-ulit natin pinakita sa mga hearings dito ng mga signature na SDO Acosta, SDO Fajarda ay nag-certify na ang confidential funds ay napunta sa confidential expenses. Ngunit ang totoo po na pag-alaman natin, ito ay confirm nila SDO Acosta at SDO Fajarda mismo na hindi nila alam kung saan napunta ang confidential funds. Yun lang po, Mr. Chair. Maraming salamat po.
Gayunpaman, may isa pang tanong na kailangan nating sagutin at sigurado po ako na ang taong bayan ay gusto at interesado din ito pong malaman. Ano po ba ang mga potensyal na legal liabilities, both criminal and administrative, sa mga natuklasang anomalya sa ating investigasyon? Mr. Chair, I, together with other members, have taken on the task of outlining some of the potential legal ramifications and liabilities arising from the facts that we have uncovered. Ang unang krimen na pag-uusapan po natin ngayong araw ay ang tinatawag na technical malversation under the revised penal code. Ano po ba ito? Simply stated, it means that an accountable officer applies public funds to another purpose, kahit public purpose pa yan, which is different from that which they were originally appropriated for by law or ordinance. Sa madaling salita, ginamit sa ibang bagay ang pera ng taong bayan at hindi napunta sa original officer o di kaya yung head of agency. Second, yung public funds na nasa custody niya napunta o ginamit sa ibang public purpose. Third, yung public purpose na pinuntahan ng public funds ay hindi yung purpose na inaprubahan na paggagamitan ng public funds na yon. Kaya naman, ang technical malversation ay base sa paggamit ng public funds sa ibang bagay kung saan ito ay talagang nilaan, kahit anuman ang intensyon o purpose ng paggamit nito. Even if the public funds are used for the benefit of the people, this is still penalized by law. Let's look at several instances of technical malversation that we have seemed to have uncovered. ang pinag-uusapan po natin sa hearing na ito ay kadalasan tungkol sa confidential funds. Paulit-ulit po, and as confirmed by the Commission on Audit itself, confidential funds are only to be used for confidential expenses. Kaso pagdating po sa Office of the Vice President, yung COA na po mismo ang nag-flag sa pamamagitan ng Notice of Disallowance which says na hindi mapakita ng accountable officers, kulang-kulang ang mga binigay na dokumento o ebidensya na magpapatunay o magpapakita na confidential funds were used for the confidential expenses that are allowed under the joint circular. Let us emphasize that the joint circular requires that the confidential funds must be spent only for confidential expenses like those incurred in relation to national security and peace and order, confidential activities, among others. Such requirement was not complied with by the OVP, katulad ng itong tinutukoy na payment of tables, chairs, desktop, computers, and printers which were not even specified to be for confidential operations. Let's assume na lang po, dahil hindi alam ng SDO kung totoo ba o hindi, na talagang gumastos ng 3.5 million pesos ang OVP para sa mga office equipment na ito. Mali po na confidential funds ang ginamit nila for this. This is clear technical malversation. Mr. Chair, next slide please. Now, this one is very significant po. Presumption of malversation. Of course, there's such thing po na tinatawag na presumption of malversation, and this is found under revised penal code. At ang ibig sabihin po nito, kapag ikaw, accountable officer ka, you were given custody over public funds at ikaw ang accountable for those funds. Kapag hinanap sa iyo kung nasaan yung funds or saan napunta at wala kang masagot, the law presumes na binulsa mo. Applying Article 217 of the Revised Penal Code, malversation is presumed to have been committed. Kaya kapag accountable officer ka, dapat po napakaingat mo na hinahawakan ang public funds na ito. Hindi mo ito basta-basta ipapasa sa ibang tao. You bear the burden of making sure that the public funds go exactly to the public purpose that they were intended for. Unfortunately, Mr. Chair, when the committee in the hearing last November 25 asked Special Disbursing Officer Acosta and Edward Pajarda on where the confidential funds were spent on, they could not give answer. And worst, they merely stated that they handed it to their alleged respective security officers. Ito mismo ay malinaw na labag sa kanilang tungkulin bilang SDOs na dapat alam kung saan nagagasta ang confidential funds at hindi dapat ito ibinibigay kung kani-kanino man. Kaya naman, walang pwedeng presumption kundi binulsa nila SDOs Acosta at Edward Fajarda along with other employees and key officials of the OVP and DepEd ang confidential funds ng ating taong bayan. Yun lamang po, Mr. Chair.
I just want to reiterate, while it has been said repetitively already, that our ultimate objective here in conducting this inquiry in aid of legislation is to be able to enhance existing laws, come up with new ones if the need are determined, Mr. Chair. Nevertheless, we cannot brush aside, certainly, all the abuses and infractions that we have identified during the course of our inquiry in aid of legislation. And in addition to the offenses which have been raised already by our esteemed colleagues, I wish to add perjury.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Thanks for watching.